So, today I want to talk about a concept that is for many people really so confusing. And this concept it's so paradox. And I know that it has made me go like crazy throughout the years. And that concept is duality. Yeah, because we live in a dimension with this collective obsession and this collective view of this thing called duality. Our mind's constant strive to identify, to sort things into good or bad, nice or not so nice, or that was a bad example, but um, that is the reason why I think people, me included in the past, sometimes go so wrong and really confuse all the tips and the strategies and the how-tos that combine with the ego's constant strive for identification with what we are doing or who we are. And I want to give you some context in how this can play out using myself as the lab rat. I'm just kidding, but using myself as the scenery for um, the pointers that I am striving to provide you with in this video. And when I was discovering this whole formula in how to manifest what we want, how there is different kind of practices, the purpose and importance of vibrating on a high frequency that is aligned with our desired outcome. And I was really committed to this study for a couple of years, and I did a lot of the practices, and I created my own spin on the practices and made new versions that suited me and my journey in how I want to live and perceive things. And then I got to this point, at this contrary point when all the teachings pretty much show to the same thing, like, okay, in order to attract what we want, we need to feel good about it. If we do not feel good about it, we are actually resisting it. And wanting to get out of debt can really, uh, using those words can really have that opposite effect. We are focusing on debt and so on. I think that you all get this, but it has so many deeper layers to it. Because if you have been living for so long with this fear of debt, or you're maybe even having huge amounts of debts and you feel like, but I have to get out of this in order to start living, just to reframe the words, I want to get out of debt, using words like, I am abundant. Maybe there's more work to it than just that. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It does, but with those conflicting programs in our subconscious of fear, maybe, and maybe you're terrified. Um, just using affirmation maybe it's not the only lane or the quickest lane. um, and here is um, where I think that the concept of duality comes well in hand to show you, because on the one side, it's like, okay, you shouldn't focus on the depth. You should reframe everything into positive words. But on the other hand, you really feel the struggle and fear. I need to get out of it. And on this side, yeah, I think that there's more power in operating in that direction, obviously. But when we don't allow ourselves to to dissolve all those depression and conflicting programs that anchors us, I think that we are getting in our own way. And that's when I think, like, if you were like, how I perceive things in the past, I was like, but which one to choose? I want to be positive and move in the positive direction as quick as possible, but yet I have this those anchors that is keep on making me stumble or whatever. That's when I think maybe we should come up with a new word that is like the opposite of duality. Talk about paradox. I'm saying, like, okay, duality is just a concept built on that there is always have to be an opposite to everything, and I'm saying that I want to create an opposite word for duality. But that's the beauty. That's the beauty. When we liberate ourselves from any concepts, we can do things very paradoxically. I don't even know if paradoxically is a word, but if it isn't, I've just created it, so we will go with it. But that's anyway the reason. That's when I think it's powerful to understand that this whole duality is not a natural law. It's not true at all. It's just our mind's way to make sense of this world. But if you instead, like in this example, would allow yourself, whenever you feel this stress and worry, and you feel like, okay, but thinking positive or writing gratitude or just reframing it won't do it now because I have all those emotions within me that controls my entire vibrational state, and it feels like lying. Maybe I should allow myself to have this moment to just notice what is going on, to allow it to move and ascend to the surface of the light of my awareness, where it actually can dissolve. Yeah. And in other moments you feel like, yeah, but now it's a good time to do those reframing. I feel maybe a little fraction of this negative thing, but I am more enthusiastic, and I feel like, okay, I can do this work now. When we allow ourselves the whole spectra, the whole scale of 360 grades of different directions, that is when I think that we will really start to enjoy this life, and we will really start to learn how to enjoy and have fun with whatever concept, strategy, practice that we are applying, because we know that there is just one way of the infinite ways. And I think that is when we will actually learn to enjoy manifestation. When we understand that we don't have, this is also to crash the illusion of duality. We don't have to have anything or do anything in order to be happy. That's the truth. But here's another truth that is also true. It's perfectly fine to want to have things and explore things and manifest things. So I hope that this made some sense to you, or if it didn't, maybe that's even better. If it didn't, maybe this really awoke some questions within you. And if it did, follow them and see what you discover for yourself. If you enjoy this type of content, consider to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.